Check out pentheblogofficial, like, share, follow, and subscribe. A lion pride was hungry and desperate for a decent meal. It had been days since they last caught something good to eat, and their bellies were rumbling with hunger. As the night wore on, the lions began to get restless. One of the lionesses in the pride had an idea. She knew just the place to find food. A small group of meerkats were known to inhabit the area, and catching one of those little guys would be easier than catching a full-grown warthog or zebra. They were ready to do whatever it took to protect him and their families. The lions were taken aback by the ferocity of the meerkats. They had never seen anything like it before. The lions were also hungry and tired from their fruitless night of hunting, so they decided to call off the attack and leave the meerkats alone. It's also about being responsible. Mogul knew that he was the strongest and most capable meerkat in the clan. He didn't have a choice in the matter. Now, of course, this doesn't make Mogul's actions any less heroic. But the truth is that being a leader is a lot of responsibility. It's because they have a responsibility to do it. Being a leader isn't always glamorous, but someone has to do it. And that's why people look up to you and rely on you to make the tough decisions. And sometimes those decisions are not easy to make. In fact, it makes them even more admirable, because he was just doing his job. He was the one who had to set an example for the others. If he didn't step up and protect his family, then who would? The lions crept closer and closer to the meerkat's burrow, ready to pounce. When the sun began to rise, the lions got into position around the burrow. They prepared to attack the sleeping meerkats and make their kill. Well, here's the thing. You see, Mogul wasn't just any meerkat. He was the alpha male, the leader of this particular clan, and his duty was to protect his family at all costs. This is a responsibility that comes with being a leader. Sometimes you have to do things that others can't or won't do. And that's exactly what Mogul was doing. He was protecting his family and his clan. Just as the lions were about to attack, a brave meerkat stood up. He stood tall and strong in front of his burrow and let out a loud squeak. His name was Mogul, and he had put himself on the line to protect his family. The meerkats inside the burrow heard the noise and began to stir. One by one, they came out of the burrow, led by the brave meerkat. The meerkats formed a circle around the brave leader. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the lions slowly backed away from the burrow. They were defeated by the bravery of the meerkats and were too hungry to fight. The meerkats cheered and celebrated their victory. They had successfully defended their home and their families from the hungry lions. From that day on, the lions never bothered the meerkats again, and the brave meerkat who had led the defense became a legend in the animal kingdom. Now, some may ask, why did Mogul have to sacrifice himself? Why couldn't the other meerkats have protected their own? Now, you might think that this is a very selfless thing to do, and it is. But it's not just about being selfless. Now, it's important to remember that Mogul wasn't doing this for any special reason. It was just what he had to do. It was his responsibility. Sometimes we have a tendency to look at people who are in positions of power and think that they must have an easy life. So the next time you see a leader doing something that seems selfless, remember that it's not just because they're selfless.